Welcome to the Inspiro Podcast, a podcast exploring personal growth, leadership, strategy, communication, and fulfillment. We are your hosts, Jason Luchtefeld and Bill Woodburn. I'm here as a dentist, transitioning into a career to help facilitate individuals and their organizations towards a more fulfilling future.
Hi there, I'm Bill Woodburn, and I'm a licensed professional counselor and licensed marriage and family therapist in Austin, Texas. I'm fascinated by the way people come together to solve problems, whether that's couples or families, dental practices, or organizations. We're going to be exploring a lot of topics, and for us to be able to be free to do that, I have to let you know that this is not intended to be dental advice or counseling advice.
Sense of coherence. Okay. Originally proposed in the late 70s, mid 80s, the universal inclination of an individual to appraise the world through three dimensions, namely meaningfulness, or interpretation of stressors as meaningful demands that deserve to be handled. Number two, manageability, the perception that we have sufficient resources to manage the environment around us. And three, comprehensibility, which is perceiving the environment as being explainable, organized, and predictable. So various researchers have argued and agree that these three components are all interconnected, and individuals who rank highly in all three are said to have strong sense of coherence and tend to have higher wellness and overall health scores. So factors influencing this are wealth, religious beliefs, cultural upbringing, peace and stability in the environment where you live, and a person's particular nature appraising the stressors will influence all three.
Sounds good.
As we've talked about all these different self-care items, I thought this was fitting because it's really about how meaningful each of those are to you, how you perceive your ability to manage each of those areas, and then how do you interpret the world in which you find yourself? And depending upon where you are on any of those, your sense of coherence in any given topic could be up or down. So nice. Trying to develop your sense of coherence in each of these areas could be a goal.
Hey man, that's what I'm here for.
No, that sounds really great. You know, it also goes along with my belief about how damage happens to our emotional system, mental system. Okay. You know, I think as we go through life, both as children and as adults, we get overwhelmed by things. We lose that coherence. Sometimes we lose it so badly we can't get it back in that moment or that month or that year. And what our tendency is to sort of break off a part of us and leave it behind in order to go on. That we see it very particularly when someone is overwhelmed by grief, but they have to go on with their lives, and so they go on. And what they've done is they've just cut off that part of them that was grieving. And then they come to me and they say, I just don't seem to be able to have relationships anymore. I'm not able to trust people. I'm not able to bond with people. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's that part you left behind in order to stay up with the world and keep going. And then we do that on all sorts of things in all parts of our lives. And we leave these scattered wounded, on the battlefield of our lives sometimes and never go back for them. And that matches really well with your sense of coherence, that idea that we get less and less coherent in a modern world that demands that we keep going.
Work, 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 work.
And one of the ways we do that is leave the wounded on the battlefield. Go on to the next objective. Can't go back for them. Sometimes luckily, I have a chance. People come to my office and we have time and space to go back for the wounded and help them rejoin. And then they feel more coherent.
That's great. This kind of topic that is so big and so fraught with people getting upset if you say the wrong thing. And we're doing it as a podcast, not in a room with people that we can actually have a communication with if there is.
And that we can stop and
disagreement.
explain ourselves to.
That's
if
right.
It's obvious. We won't
Yeah.
know
Right.
that we've stepped on the landmine for weeks or months.
Exactly. So with that said, I think we put it out there. We see where it goes. If we decide we want to come back to it at some point, I'm more than happy to do that and talk more in depth about something specific if needed.
Okay, we can do that.
I think we're both at a point now that we're stepping into this water with really good intentions.
Mm-hmm.
There's opportunity to talk more deeply about some of that if we want. It would almost